everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read, but today I'm going to talk about writing. I thought it might be fun to be in a slightly different setup, which is if I do lock myself away to do any writing related stuff, it's at this desk here. Today I'm going to be doing my October and November writing update. If you want a bit more writing information or a bit sooner updates, if you're wanting to follow along with my journey as I write and self-publish a book and later on a series, then please check out my website, which is joannamartinauthor.com, and there you'll find in the news page up the top, you'll find all of my previous blog posts, which I do once a month to give you guys a bit more of a regular update and to firm it up in my brain as well, motivate me a bit more. And then you can also sign up to my newsletter where you'll get that blog post once a month, as well as a few other fun things in the newsletter straight to your inbox. On to what I've been doing. October went really good. It was such a fun thing being back in the world of writing and actually thinking I'm going to be published this time. I've been watching another fantastic YouTube channel of a self-published author. Her name is Bethany Artazada. I've gotten a lot more educated. I've been watching those videos over the past couple of months and they've been as both an inspiration and a knowledge base for myself. Now, as for my particular stuff, the reason I started talking about her as well is that I signed up to a newsletter to get her free self-publishing timeline resource, where she basically goes through everything that she puts together in her publishing timeline. So that starts with her outline and then goes on to how long it takes her to write, and then how many rounds of edits she does, beta readers, developmental edits, proofreading, blah blah blah, everything like that. Briefly marketing, she doesn't go into a lot of detail in that particular template because marketing is such a bigger category, but she just sort of says when roughly she markets, how she does pre-orders, when she talks to vendors, and then all the way up to cover reveals and the release of the book itself. So it's a really great resource, and not only does she have a template that you can print and fill out, she also then has a big document that explains what each of those things means and gives you some ideas as to your timeline. So I completed that. I did, because it came as a PDF, so I did actually write my own in Word because I wanted to just play with a couple of little things based on what I knew about the industry and what sort of she said. I wanted to change them a little bit, and because at the moment I am not necessarily on a super big timeline, another big appealing thing to me with self-publishing is that I want to be able to control the timeline. I want to be able to slow down if I need to, and that is very critical for me at the moment because I have a new baby and I want to be able to keep doing this but not feel super pressured about the time. I still want to keep working on it every day, but I still want to be working on it in small amounts so that I am getting somewhere, but I'm not feeling super stressed, especially when I'm looking to return to work next year. And I guess I will talk a little bit about that in a future writing update. It'll be months and months in advance because I'm not looking to go back until April next year, and I'll talk about how that will play into all of that as well and how I'm going with writing around work and mum life. But it's a really great resource. So I filled out that and I ended up getting back my expected release date. Now this is just projected. This is in no way anything I'm going to commit to because, just a spoiler alert, I'm already a month off. I'm already a month behind, and I'll get into why soon. But I then had an expected release date of May 2024. So I even had to think about that for a second because I was thinking 2023, but no, that is next year, and no. To be honest, I was a bit disappointed to hear that because or to calculate that, because I was really hoping to get something out at the end of next year. And but I just don't think so. There are so many other things that are coming into my life, and I'm happy to do slow and steady for now. I don't know if that seems stupid to some people that are wanting to make self-publishing a career, but I sort of think it would be great one day to make money from my books, but I'm sort of more looking at the fact that I would need to have at least 3 books out before I'm thinking by the 3rd book it would be nice to have a return on at least one of the books, a return in investment. But and then eventually from there I would like it to snowball to then paying for each of the books. Not looking to create a career out of this to begin with. Absolutely not. No way, Jose. I guess the fact that I'm on maternity leave for a year is almost a perfect time to be starting that. But I'm also really loving the fact that part of my job, as well as raising Miles, is also doing housework. I'm not doing housework all the time because I do need a lot of free time, and depending on which developmental stage Miles is going through, it can be really challenging, so I need more mental health personal breaks to feel present. So I certainly wasn't looking to start and be doing my career as a self-published author right away. And I also like the regularity of getting a paycheck, so I would still like to go back to work for a bit. I don't know what that's going to look like at the moment. I will think about that in the new year when I talk to my boss about it. But I still want some kind of regularity of a pay slip. And maybe one day it'll get to the point where I can and want to quit doing work, but then also I like the social aspect of it. I really like the fact that if I get holidays and it's not all on me, whereas being employed by yourself, it's all on you. So we'll see what my life is like in the future. Now that I've had time to think about it, I'm not too disappointed about the fact that it's going to take me that long to get ready for release day, or for release day to be there, because it's actually going to give me a lot of time to save my own personal money to invest in this kind of thing. So I'll show you guys the saving thing that I've got. I have this really cool savings chart that I got when I signed up to the Up Bank for my personal stuff, and it's how to save $1,000 in a year. Now, I was really hoping to only spend $500 per book, and I thought that was really realistic, but that's not what, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to get my laptop so I can show you guys my projected spendings. It's so much higher than I thought it was going to be, and that's because of editing. The cover, I'm looking at about 170. I found this really cool person off Etsy who we're doing a paperback wrap, so not just the ebook, she also does the spine and the back. It's 170 bucks. The ISBNs, I want to buy 10. The major expense is the editing, and this is what went my projected expense of the book from $500 up to $1,000, because I've actually been following this editor for a long time. Her name is Lavender Prose. That's not her name, that's her business name. Lavender Prose on Instagram, and I have looked at her services on her website and I love what she offers. But the problem is, between when I priced it a couple months ago, based on my 80,000 word count, and then since then she's done a website upgrade, and because she's become really popular and she's really good at her job, she basically doubled her rates almost. No upset or disgruntlement to her. I am so just I'm happy for her that she feels that she's able to do that and she's worth it. That's fantastic. But it does add to my budget. What I'm going to do though, so that I know I'm making the right decision, is I'm also, over the course of the next 6 months, I'm going to be looking at other editors. So even though I really love her and I am willing to front up the cost, it's also a big chunk. I should have the money by that time, because this is a year of savings in a year, and I've already marked off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've marked off 7, so I've got 7 minus 52 is 45. I have 45 weeks left to go, and I wasn't expecting that I would need a developmental edit until November next year, but I am going to go and research other editors, because I might find someone who I vibe just as well with, or even better, and it's cheaper. I might vibe with someone same price, but I think is not more worth it, but I vibe even more with. Or I might not find anybody that I like, and I will then be happy with my decision to use Lavender Prose. Anyways, going to my tracker. October, my main task was to read over my previous manuscript and see my strengths and weaknesses. So I did that throughout the month. I was a bit behind a lot of the time, as you can see from this graphic here, but I ultimately was able to catch up and get it all done. I did think a lot of times in between, why am I doing this? I was feeling very much wanting to jump into my book, but it was so worth it. It absolutely was, because it highlighted a lot of the issues that I had, and my biggest one being that I'm not great on description, and I feel like I am going to be able to do it justice. I am going to take the time, and I have take the time to establish my setting, to establish my characters and my world and the magic system and everything, so that I know and I can see it and I can immerse the readers in that. So it was really worth it for that thing. Fast forward to November, I had overbooked myself a little bit because I wanted to start writing on the 1st of November, but I needed to also do an outline in the first week. And so I was like, oh, I'll write my outline and I'll also write my first words, 500 words a day, I think it was then, by that point, and it'll be fine. Way overselling myself when I really wanted to be conservative, considering that I haven't written in a long time, and I also haven't written with a baby, and I also wanted to take my time. I didn't feel like I was in danger of staring at a blank screen. I knew that I'd be able to write, but I didn't want to sprint and waste words, because this is not draft zero for me. Even though the world is completely different and the plot is a little bit fairly different, still kind of like the same themes. The characters are the same, but for me, it's not draft zero. It is not draft zero, so I didn't want to rush ahead and do it. And I don't think I will ever do what people normally call draft zero. I don't think I will be racing for the quantity over the quality, just because, again, I'm not going to be staring at the blank page. I absolutely am not. It's not something that I am worried that I'm going to be doing. But lo and behold, 1st November came. It was NaNoWriMo. I was so excited. I wrote 500 words in a sprint, and I have deleted all of them because I had no outline. I had no idea what I wanted the first part of the book to be, and I was simply clueless. So I got rid of them. I gave myself a nice mental kick in the head and told myself that's why you wanted to do an outline. I scrapped those words, and then I spent most of the week doing an outline. Didn't get it finished, but I was able to start writing on the 7th of November, so a week later. And looking at this, I wrote for the next couple of days. So I wrote from Monday to Thursday, did nothing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which was actually my sister's hens, so that's why. Saturdays are my days off, so it's sort of 2 days that I missed, but I was still behind in my words too. And then I wrote on Monday, Tuesday, and I've stopped from there. And that is because I started working on the next project, which is my grandpa's memoir. I've done a really fun title page using text from Canva and putting it in as an image as I've learnt from Bethany, and then I've done a little copyright page too. That's been a fun project, and I basically just stopped doing all of my own writing to do that. If Grandma and Pa happen to be watching this video, they're probably not, because I don't think they know that my YouTube channel exists, but if you are watching, I'm not sad that I had to stop doing my own project for now to get this done, because it was a commitment that I made, and I'm also going to enjoy the book for years and years to come. So it's my grandpa's memoir. He wrote up a whole bunch of stuff for me to type up and then put into a book. I has spent the month redoing it, asking him. So I basically, most of the typing was done come November, but the deadline was cracking down because he wanted it for his 80th birthday, which is at the start of January, but with Christmas delays and things like that, and the fact that I actually wanted to get it printed and bound professionally. So I was like, no, I need to focus on this because I'm going to start running out of time with the Christmas deadlines. That's what I've been spending my time on. I have gone to their house asking clarifying questions for things that I didn't understand, adding those explanations in, adding photos in, scanning in photos, deciding what photos to do, picking the cover, which I want to show you guys the cover too that we've decided on because I'm so excited. And I only did the cover last night. I actually got a couple printed from Canva and then saw a better photo and sent it to my grandpa, and he was like, oh yeah, I like that one better too. I love it so much more, and so does he. So that's going to be the cover. I'm really excited, and I'm going to be sending it to a company called eprintonline.com.au. I am planning on doing a bit more of an in-depth video on the making of this book just to show you guys for funsies, but that's what I've been spending in doing like a flick through of the book as well to show you guys what it ended up being like. And it's been a fun experience for me as well, a learning experience as someone who's wanting to be self-published as well. I'm not going to be working with this company to self-publish my books because they're not a print on demand, they're a print and pay at the time. I am glad that it is going to be over very soon. So the book is with my grandparents at the moment. I've asked them to read it as much as they can over this weekend, and I'll come pick it up early next week because I need to submit the files to this company mid this coming week, which will end up being the week of the 12th to the 18th of December to give it time for them to print it themselves and then ship it by the time that they close on the 23rd of December. So it is crunch time, and that's why I had to stop doing my project, but it's been a hell of a fun time. I've learned a lot about my own family history, and I'm just so grateful that my grandpa wanted to do it and took the time to write out his life story. So I'm gonna go now because this video has been super long. I'm sure Miles wants to get up from a nap, even though I'm trying to extend his naps a little bit, so I might just go give him a pat and move on. Thank you guys so much for watching this again. I hope to see you guys again in the future, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Bye!